All right, Royce, what's good?
What's up, Vlad? How you feel, brother?
Everything good. Thank you for coming through for man, it's probably like our fourth or fifth interview now.
Yeah, man, it's always cool. Always cool. Thank you for having me.
No doubt. So tell me about the new project, Layers.
The project is called Layers. It's my first solo project since '07, I believe. Anybody that's been following me knows that I've been a part of many, various groups over the years. That's pretty much what's been eating my time as an artist. Slaughterhouse, Prime, Bad Meets Evil. It's basically, I do something different with each group. I think it comes from my Detroit background, my Motown background, how broad the radio is here and how broad the influences are there. When I signed my first deal back in '99, Tommy Boy told me in so many words, maybe not as nice as I'm about to put it, but that I was a little bit too versatile. You know what I'm saying? So I had to figure out a way as an artist to be able to use all of these different layers as I see fit in a way where it wouldn't confuse people. So I think that's why I started all these different groups. And it's not even different personality, it's just different ways of approaching beats. I approach beats a certain way with Slaughterhouse. I get in the studio with Marshall and I can approach a beat so many different ways that I can't really do it with Slaughterhouse because I'm dealing with three other creative minds. Me and Marshall are so much alike creatively that we can kind of like share the same approach and we can go back and forth and flippity flip, 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 flip all we want to. You know what I'm saying? And it gave me opportunity to be able to do that, not only be able to do that for an entire project, but be able to do that on the radio as well. So this project is basically just me peeling back all of the layers of each personality that I am on each project and giving you everything in one project now that you were able to see it in parts prior to.
Now, you put out a freestyle recently.
Yeah.
Now, was that something off the new project or just kind of there to promote the new project?
You talking about They Don't Make Them Like This No More? Yeah, right. I just put, that's not even on the album. That's just something that I had laying around that I kind of wanted to put out. I put that out to introduce my new network called Superphone. It's my phone number that I'm using to be a little bit more interactive with core fans. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. It's something I sent directly to them because what I can do now is through this network, I can give them information beforehand and I can send them things before I actually tweet them out and put them out there to the universe. So that was just something that I did to give to them.
Okay. So I found there's an interesting line in that freestyle. And you said, if you're a lyricist, why haven't you gone broke yet?
Ah, you talking about that freestyle? Okay.
That freestyle.
Yeah. I put that out to promote the album. That verse is actually on the album. It's on a song called Hard.
So it's an interesting line. If you're a lyricist, why haven't you gone broke yet? I mean, are you kind of implying that these days, if you're a lyricist, you're gonna go broke?
I think that that's the public perception. I think right now in 2016, being a lyricist is considered not in style. And on many levels, it's considered not cool to be a lyricist. Sometimes I find that even high-level, top-tier lyricists, they find ways to kind of camouflage it so they don't come across as lyricists, be it their content or they hide it in the swag a little bit. You know what I'm saying? They don't just come out like, I'm an MC that'll lyrically shredder you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't come out like that. They just come out real smooth with it, but they're so high level MC with it. It's just it's the way that hip hop is evolving right now.
Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah, well, Kendrick Lamar is like, he's like the exception to every rule in hip hop right now.
What do you mean?
He's the exception to every rule in hip hop. I mean, he's he sits in that space, in that MC space, that very, very successful MC space by itself. But he takes that hit. He doesn't sell the records that Drake sells. You know, he may have to take that hit with record sales in order to be able to get the Grammys and receive all the creative accolades. That's just my personal opinion.
you have to take the hit in the creative space in order to win the Grammys?
I think so. I mean, as a hip hop artist, I mean, he came with something so dark and so true, and he took a risk by going that direction on his album. You know, and he was able to get all of the accolades out of it, but it didn't quite turn itself into the kind of sales that, let's say, a Drake is receiving. Whereas Drake receives all the sales and he gets all of the props as being the best rapper out right now, which he may be. I mean, you can't really argue that, you know what I'm saying? But he's not winning the Grammys.
Well, Drake has won Grammys before. I think he's won at least one Grammy. He just didn't kind of scoop up 5 Grammys all at once like Kendrick did last time. And, you know, granted, Drake makes songs that I feel are single-oriented, whereas Kendrick does not.
Yeah, he gave you a body of work. He gave you a body of work that made you think. And he shot for a target, and he hit that target like a motherfucker. I'm proud of him, man.
Yeah. What about J. Cole?
J. Cole, I think he lives in a space by himself too, man. I think he's quietly outselling most of the artists, but he's so himself on records that it's almost the gimmick. You know what I'm saying? Like, not putting nobody on the album, not wearing all of the high price shit, and not pushing the fashion agenda, and just being about the lyrics and being about the real life shit and the shit for the college students. Another dope ass MC.
Well, we just named two lyricists who are far from broke. I mean, are making a lot of money.
Yeah, well, the line came after I said, because I'm the flyest backpacker ever. You know, when people hear you using like multi-syllable raps and spitting like the kind of lyrics that make you think in a way to where it kind of confuses you for a minute, or it throws you off as the listener for a minute, where you got to kind of like as a moviegoer, if you went to watch a movie like Inception, you'd be like, damn, I had to think hard during that movie. When you're listening to an MC like that, a lot of times people say, okay, that's backpack rap, that's not gonna last. He's not gonna be able to make a career out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they may say that, but they can't say that about me, because I've been doing it for 15 years and I'm still here.
I mean, just to be honest, because, you know, me and you fuck with each other and we OGs in this shit. When people say backpack rap, are they really saying unsuccessful rap? You know, rap that never really gets past a certain level, you know, popularity-wise, for whatever reason?
Yeah, that's exactly what they're saying. Yeah. If you look at Meek Mill interviews, and this is no diss to Meek Mill, I like Meek Mill too. But if you look at Meek Mill and the way he talks about, yo, that's that backpack rap. I don't do that. I do shit for the streets. They talk about it like it's beneath what they do. You know, like, hip hop is all broken down in a lot of different categories, and for whatever reason, since we're all creative, since we're all competitive, we put this here and that here. You know, we're the only genre that does that. You know, and backpack always falls low, you know, when somebody's talking about it, because, you know, it's not the shows that you're gonna go see all the bitches, and, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not where all the hype is at. You know what I'm saying? But there's people who are in that lane or perceived to be in that lane, who just accept what it is and just kind of roll. You know, Slaughterhouse, we got our lane that we stay in. We don't try and jump in a lot of lanes, and we accept what the fuck it is, and we rap. You know what I'm saying? That's why nobody wants to rap against us. That's why it's always people in interviews saying, oh, they just do that shit over there, but they don't want to rap because they know they get their ass handed to them. Anybody, any crew, anytime.
So you got this project coming out. What's next for you? I mean, aside for Layers, what else are you working on?
Yeah, outside of Layers, I'm still working with Preem. You know, we still working on the Prime thing. We supposed to be getting together soon to figure out when we're gonna go in again to work on the next one. I'm also working with other artists. I just launched my company, Bad Half Entertainment. Myself and my man, Mr. Porter, we're partnering up and working with this kid named Tiara. She's a female MC from Detroit, really dope. I'm working with my little brother, Kid Vicious, as well. And I'm just looking to expand outside of just me making records, but expand my company and start reaching back and grabbing artists and moving forward that way.
Any chance for a Bad Meets Evil Part 2?
It's always a chance for that. Always a chance for that. I gotta catch him when he's not doing nothing, and he gotta catch me when I'm not doing nothing. That happens when we both just sitting in the studio.
Okay. So there hasn't been any songs that you guys have done that are like, okay, this is gonna be Bad Meets Evil Part 2.
We got some that's sitting around that haven't been released.
Like how many songs?
I can't tell you that.
Was the Bad Meets Evil project, was that your first platinum plaque?
Yep. That was my first platinum plaque, but that was my first project to actually come out on a major. I never had a project come out on a major prior to that. Everything else was independent.
So by the time Bad Meets Evil, the album, comes out, how many years have you been professionally rapping?
I don't even know. Since 99, when was Bad Meets Evil? So like 10, 11 years. 10, 11 years, something like that.
So what was it like? Because, not everyone knows your history, but it's like, you had these moments where everyone's like, okay, like Royce is going to come out, he's going to smash the game. And for whatever reason, whether it was, working with the wrong label or whatever else, it wasn't happening. And then after a decade, you can now look at your wall and you have a platinum plaque. Like, how did that feel?
It felt great, man. It was one of the most fulfilling things ever in my career. And it's just a testament to, younger artists coming up that you just got to stay consistent. You got to stay on the grind, and you can't let anybody tell you what you can't do. I've achieved a lot of things later in my career that I never thought that I would do. I never thought that I would executive produce a show on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all of these things happened after people told me I was a rap. My career was over with, that it was done. You know what I mean? So, it's fulfilling, man. It's a great feeling, and it's the best revenge, really.
During those 10 years, was there ever a point where you said, maybe this hip hop shit ain't for me?
Never.
Or maybe,
Never.
Never.
Never. I knew that this is what I was here to do. You know what I mean? And I knew I was working out the kinks. I knew God wouldn't put too much on me that I can handle. And I knew I wasn't doing everything right. I wasn't an angel. You know what I'm saying? I was making my mistakes. I was doing shit, and I was paying for it. So now it's just, I'm turning this corner in my life as well as my career now, just a lot more clear-headed, and that's why things are looking how they're looking.
I understand that mindset because I have that, because you don't believe in somebody so much, you just joke on them. Like, I'm gonna joke on you. I don't believe you. So I understand it, but I want hip hop, period, to stop the shenanigans with that type of shit. Like, yo, motherfucker, rap, go rap.
My monthly overhead for my household and household employees was somewhere in the neighborhood of like $1 million a month I was spending.